Um, um, so, I was, as we go through all this stuff, something popped in my head the other day. PFF had Sean Payton as the second best coach in the league. And I actually, and I'm not saying this because I get along with Sean, and we really hit it off. But I'm also saying this, I don't think he's quite getting enough credit for what he's done in Denver. And some of that is Harbaugh soaks up so much of the glare because he's such a character. And then there's the reigning dynasty in the division. And now you got Pete Carroll and Chip Kelly. So Denver sort of gets lost from a publicity standpoint. But John, think about this. So he goes into an organization and the culture's broken, the quarterback's a mess, and there's impending new ownership. So he goes in the first year. I think one game, they win three more games. He makes Russ functional. He cleans up the offensive line from like 21st to like 7th. It just got ranked second, by the way. PFF's grade starting the season. It's now second. Last year, with Herbert, Mahomes, Harbaugh, Reed, he has a rookie quarterback. They end up leading the league in sacks. It is now a bona fide top offensive line with really one, Cortland Sutton, one dependable weapon. And I mean, I looked at them last year and I thought they'd be good with Bo Nix. I don't think we understand. You start looking at that division, and in almost every other division, with a number two O line, Sean Payton, a very capable young quarterback, leader in sacks, they get Greenlaw and Hufunga. I'm like, I think what he's done there, last year they make the playoffs with $89 million, I think it was in dead cap money. Are we undervaluing, because of the glare with everybody else, what he's done in Denver?
I've watched a couple of his press conferences during OTAs. He thinks his team's pretty good. He thinks his team's pretty good because defensively they got a chance to dominate. And if you have a dominant defense with an offensive coach who's proven like your floor is so high. I mean, your floor is immediately like 10 wins. And someone sent me this DM recently. They said, everyone talks about Jaden, and I understand why, but pull up the stats for Bo Nix and Jaden. I think we talk about Bo Nix like he threw 18 touchdowns. He threw 29 touchdowns. Now, some of these are scheme touchdowns, but his numbers, the accuracy is something that I think he has to work on. Now, the weapons they had,
Yep.
the running back in the draft, but I do think that, is he a guy under Sean Payton? If he just becomes like Sean Payton's version, even if he's not Drew Brees or whatever, but just like a Jared Goff, a Brock Purdy, like a consistent starter they're going to be really good for a while. And I know last week you had the Chargers they could be to win the division. It's
I
not
mean,
it's
John,
not
if
inconceivable, right? Because he's a unique second year player. How old is he? 25 years old. Like he's played a lot of football.
and I think unless you watch him, he didn't move a lot at Oregon. Sean lets him move, and
Yeah.
I mean, he's an athlete. That dude is ripped. When I went to the Oregon Utah game, I saw him play the Huskies, but I was up. So I bought really good seats for Oregon Utah. I wanted to be behind Oregon's bench. And he's on the sideline and he is cut. And you just watch him in these NFL games. And I always kind of look at it when a quarterback runs, how's the outside linebacker stack up? He runs past him. I mean, when he gets ahead of steam going, he can move past guys. And I remember when Johnny Manziel broke into the league, he went for a couple runs and the defensive end chased him down. And you're like, yeah, that's not going to work. That's just not going to work when that guy's chasing you down. But Sean is one of those no nonsense guys, and he's a little gruff. I remember when he said something, and Aaron Rodgers, when he said something about Nat Hackett. And again, I don't think the media always gives Sean quite a fair shake because he's pretty rough and pretty direct. But that Hufanga pickup, he's been banged up. He's an elite safety.
Well, to me, I mean, 2 years ago he was all pro. And Greenlaw, I mean, a lot of question marks with his health. But if one of those two guys is a full-time player, let alone both of them, the violence of their defense will be it'll be one of the, if not the hardest hitting defense in the league. I mean, they already were right up there last year. And, we talk a lot about this when it comes to quarterbacks, especially young quarterbacks, is the intangibles, the maturity, the focus, the drive. Bo Nix, and Jaden gets a lot of credit for that, rightfully so. Bo Nix should be right there too in terms of the way they spoke about him at Oregon, his maturity, also what he's been through. A lot like Jaden, and I would say, unlike Jaden, it's easier to fail at Arizona State. No one really cares. Team hasn't been good. You struggle at Auburn when you're in his situation. Like that was like an NFL, the way they're covered, the amount of people
Yeah.
that care, the spotlight that was on him. Remember, I think his first start was against Justin Herbert. Remember that
It
Oregon Auburn
was.
game a long, long
And
time
he
ago?
won it. He made
He
a
played
big throw
well.
in the corner. He played a big throw as a freshman into the corner of the end zone to win it.
And then his career just kind of unraveled as their program did. And then he went to Oregon. You've seen him in two stable environments, Oregon and Denver, and he's thrived. So it's safe to say, like, yeah, pretty impressive guy. I would bet on Bo Nix because Sean Payton, clearly not going anywhere. I mean, they are a 12, 13 win season away from Sean Payton then getting a huge contract extension, right? He was
Right.
given 5 years, 90 million. They have a good year and the trajectory of this franchise. And listen, I would have assumed when Sean got the job that General Patton, the GM, would have been fired. And Sean, it's
Same.
kind of feels like it's worked pretty seamlessly. They worked together. Maybe Sean's realized like got to pick my battles. Like let's just get along. And feels like they got a pretty stable organization. That's the thing with Pete Carroll and the Raiders. Like Jim Harbaugh's kind of matured. Sean Payton's at a different stage in his life. Obviously, Andy's the most. Him and Veach are on the same. It's a really, really difficult division with these guys like that have really figured it out, that have cracked the code of personality, what it takes, the energy that it takes, what they're looking. They know exactly what they're looking for. It's pretty scary.
Sorry to interrupt this great video, but please remember to like and subscribe. Thank you. Now back to the video. Yeah, no, I think actually Patton's a pretty good GM. I didn't think the problem was. I thought the problem was Hackett. And listen, it happens. I mean, Bob Kraft is a good owner. He hired Gerard Mayo, and he just wasn't ready for it. Like it
Yeah.
happens. It's hard to hire coaches. I mean, they took a huge swing on Sean McVay in Los Angeles. They wouldn't let him out of the building. That was at one point, Lane Kiffin was in the NFL and was a pretty good coach. The dysfunction of the Raiders ended that, but
And they
I mean,
they
Josh
hired Hackett right to because they thought Rodgers was going to come,
That's
which I
right.
would have done too at the time. I mean, that was
Yeah. Listen, Josh McDaniels was a guest on my show, and we've kept in touch. He's a really, really sharp guy. It just hasn't worked as head coach. He's a tremendous coordinator. So, whatever the magic is, I don't know exactly what it is. Some guys work, some don't.